My sister said I couldn't bring my black boyfriend to Thanksgiving because it would upset Grandma. I brought him anyway. Grandma hugged him first. The steering wheel felt slick and cold under my sweating palms. Every mile marker we passed on the interstate seemed to count down to a detonation. Beside me, Michael was a picture of calm, his hand resting gently on my knee, his thumb drawing slow, reassuring circles. He was humming along to the radio, a low, bluesy tune that was the complete opposite of the frantic thrashing in my chest. He didn't understand. He couldn't. He thought we were just going to a slightly awkward Thanksgiving dinner. I knew we were driving into an ambush, and my own sister was the one who had set the trap. Clara's voice from the phone call 2 nights ago was still echoing in my head, a corrosive whisper of faux concern. "Sarah, you can't," she had said, her tone dripping with that practiced, patronizing sympathy she used whenever she was about to bring the hammer down. "You can't bring Michael. It's just not a good idea." I had asked why not. He was my boyfriend of 8 months. I loved him. The family had to meet him eventually. "It's Grandma," she'd sighed, the sound crackling with manufactured regret. "You know how she is. From a different time, a black man at her Thanksgiving table. It would just be too much for her. It would upset her terribly. Let's not ruin the holiday for everyone just to make a point." Every word was a carefully chosen poison dart. "You know how she is." A phrase designed to make me complicit in a bigotry I had never once witnessed in our grandmother. A different time. The classic, cowardly excuse. Ruin the holiday for everyone. Placing the blame squarely on my shoulders for any ugliness that might occur. And the final, twisting knife. Just to make a point. As if my love for Michael, the kindest and most stable thing in my life, was nothing more than a political statement. I had hung up the phone, my hand trembling, not with sadness, but with a cold, clarifying rage. Clara wasn't protecting Grandma. She was using her as a shield. So here we were, pulling into the long, gravel driveway of the house I grew up in, the house where Grandma Eleanor still lived. The big oak tree in the front yard was bare, its skeletal branches stark against the gray November sky. It looked just how I felt, stripped down, exposed, and ready for a storm. "You okay, babe?" Michael asked, his voice cutting through my internal monologue. "You've been quiet for the last 20 miles. I forced a smile that felt like cracking plaster. "Just pre-holiday jitters. Big family. Lots of questions. You know the drill." He squeezed my knee. "Don't worry. I'm a professional charmer. They're going to love me." I prayed he was right. I prayed that the one person Clara claimed would be horrified would prove her wrong. It felt like everything was riding on that one moment. As we walked up the familiar flagstone path, the front door swung open before we even reached the porch. It was Clara, of course. She stood there, blocking the entrance, her arms crossed over her chest. She had a tight, thin smile on her face that didn't reach her eyes. It was her, "I'm being reasonable, but you're forcing my hand" look. She completely ignored Michael, her gaze fixed on me. "Sarah, can I talk to you for a second? Alone." It wasn't a question, it was a command. The air, already cold, dropped another 10 degrees. "No, Clara," I said, my voice steadier than I expected. I took a step forward, putting myself slightly in front of Michael, a protective instinct I hadn't realized I had. "Whatever you have to say, you can say it to both of us. This is Michael." I gestured to him, my hand a little shaky. Michael, ever the gentleman, extended his hand. "It's a pleasure to finally meet you, Clara. Sarah's told me so much about you." Clara looked at his outstretched hand as if it were a venomous snake. She didn't take it. The moment stretched into a painful, suffocating silence. "I told you not to bring him," she hissed, her voice low and furious. The mask of civility was gone. "I warned you. I told you what this would do to Grandma. Why are you so determined to be selfish? Why do you always have to create drama?" My rage, which had been simmering for 2 days, finally boiled over. "The only one creating drama here is you, Clara. Now, are you going to let us in? Or are we going to have Thanksgiving dinner on the doorstep?" I pushed past her, gently pulling Michael with me into the warmth of the entryway. The familiar smell of roasting turkey and cinnamon filled the air, a scent of home that suddenly felt alien and hostile. The house was buzzing with the low hum of family chatter. I could see cousins and aunts milling around in the living room, and then I saw her. Grandma Eleanor was sitting in her favorite armchair by the fireplace.
Full story on channel link below.